Welcome to another podcast from George Eastman House, International Museum of Photography and Film.
Any wrestler I've ever met is always camera ready. I can guarantee that these photographs were put together really quickly because these people would be ready to photograph.
This is the Lucha Libre exhibition. It's an exhibition of Mexican wrestling from 1940 to 2007. I'm Rick Hock, and I'm Director of Exhibitions at George Eastman House.
I'm Janet Infarinato, and I'm the copy editor and publications coordinator at George Eastman House. Well, George Eastman House didn't know it at the time, but they had a wrestling expert on staff, and that was me. As soon as I heard about this exhibition, I was really excited to be a part of it.
Lucha Libre, it loosely translated is free form or freestyle wrestling. It's a form of wrestling that takes place in both America and Mexico. In Mexico, it has more folk roots, and
It's the crazy part of wrestling. It's the spectacle, the jumping around.
The first section is shows some of the folk origins of the sport. I guess it's a sport, spectacle, entertainment, whatever it is. And it shows some of the festivals in Mexico that are based upon kind of imitated fighting. It's not actual fighting, but it's ritualized fighting. And a lot of the Lucha Libre masks and themes and icons come out of this kind of tradition, which goes all the way back to Aztec and Mayan times.
I think for the fan, they have maybe some aggression inside they can't express, and they watch this and they see they can live vicariously through these wrestlers. This is Psychedelico up here. His boot is pushing into the face of Aztec blood, and he's got his tongue out. But I'm not really sure that's his real tongue. But see, how could they ever say that was fake? Because you obviously need conditioning. You need.
Oh yeah, but the actual violence of it is faked, and
the
outcome is
that is
faked.
so wrong.
It's determined, let's say.
Santo is probably, like his name, the Saint. He's the most famous Mexican wrestler wearing a mask. So I would say he is the icon for all other Lucha Libre wrestlers.
He did a number of movies, mostly grade B sort of movies of adventure, and he even fights the Wolfman and Frankenstein. But he became a major cultural figure in Mexico. Currently, his son wrestles under the name of Santos Jr. So there's this long sort of mythic tradition. You know, the lucha wrestlers are more like gods in many ways. You know, they play those roles of saint, of devil, of all those kind of things. So
I know he never went out without his mask. I mean, he never made a public appearance without his mask. And he had 11 children, and when he died in 1984, he was buried in his silver mask. So he's preserved for eternity as El Santo.
This section is entitled Blood. What it does is show the kind of the more gruesome aspects of the sport. Even though, you know, everyone knows that it's a kind of pageantry, a kind of theater, it's depicted as pretty gruesome, you know, and that has a certain appeal to a certain spectrum of the audience. So you do see a good deal of blood and mayhem in this section. But keep in mind that it's just ritualized and theater.
I would say it was real blood.
Yeah.
Did they ever say elsewise, but I say it is.
Well, I say it's a combination of both.
The expression that some of my friends use is they drank the Kool-Aid. You know, they once they get into this, they're obsessed and they're never going back.
Janet, have you drunk the Kool-Aid?
I maybe sipped the Kool-Aid.
Yes, okay.
Well, there are a couple types of women in wrestling. I mean, there are the women who go out in more of a cosmetic capacity, and then there are those who are actually out there tearing it up in the ring. Not a popular, probably, profession for them. I mean, they're really going out there, and it's probably dangerous for a lot of reasons, and maybe not a lot of glory, and probably not a very long career. Well, it's called La Briosa. That's the vigoress, her name is, and this lucha wrestler is feeding her baby son while she's got her mask on. I mean, she's double duty here, being a mom and a lucha wrestler. It's crazy.
Not what I discovered, but what I sort of confirmed, which is the popularity and the spectacle and, you know, the richness of the pageantry. All those things were confirmed more than discovered.
I know what you discovered was that you thought that it was going to be out there on the fringe, and then you realized that more regular people liked it than you thought.
No, I've actually been to WWE
No,
wrestling matches.
you have?
I have.
Why did you go to those?
Just to see the spectacle. Anything out there bizarre, sure, it intrigues me as well as anything else.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you went. I love that it's going to bring it to a broader audience, because I've liked this for a long time, and I want other people to see it too. I want them to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Janet's hardcore.
We hope you've enjoyed this Eastman House podcast, and if you'd like to find out more, visit us at eastmanhouse.org. This Eastman House podcast is made possible by the generous support of Midtown Athletic Clubs, a leader in upscale athletic and sports resort management with facilities throughout the U.S. and Canada. Visit us at midtownclubs.com.